hoping you can. Otherwise, again, going to be a very, very long session. Before I move on, need to make sure we can. Good. Okay. So what I want you to kind of think about right at the beginning with this, I want you to forget the term webinar in this title, purely because people get turned off a little bit by that word. What I want you to think about here is the combination between LinkedIn, the platform, and then also having a presentation, a pitch deck, something that sells your service for you. So something that you create that sells your product, sells your service for you. That is what we are actually meaning by the term webinar. The webinar terminology just comes from running it online, right? And running something live like this, but you can deliver it in lots and lots of different formats. I want to get that out of the way right away. And I'm going to be asking you a number of different questions today, purely because I need to know who you are and what you're about to be able to tailor this sort of workshop for you. It's brand new. I've not delivered it before. It's something which is completely up to date. So I would love to know, if you are brand new to LinkedIn and you're not really using it right now, can you put the number 1 in the chat for me? If you are experienced on it and you've been using it for a while, the number 2, just so I can see the split. Okay, good. So quite a lot of people that are using it, probably 30% of you that are completely new, right? Which is fine. Great. Perfect. Gives me a bit of an idea of where we're at. Now, I am going to be talking to you about the fundamentals, but I am also, for those of you that are experienced, going to be covering some of the deeper elements that you're probably here for as well. Depend how you define use. I can imagine lots of people relate to that one. The second question I've got for you is, there'll be some of you that already have some form of pitch deck or presentation or asset that actually talks about your products and services in a way that I'm going to be talking about today. If you already have one, and the answer is yes to this question, you do have a business presentation, put the number 3 in the chat. If you don't, and you don't have one, number 4. Now, this normally leads towards more number 3s, but actually today, which is really cool, it's pretty much an even split, which is great to see. Cool. Okay. Excellent stuff. Keep them coming in so I can kind of see. Now, for this process to work, I'm going to be sharing with you the process in its entirety. I'm going to be sharing with you what you need to do. I'm going to be sharing with you why you need to do it. And I'm going to back everything up with lots of evidence and lots of data, purely because I find that lots of people talk a great game online, but can't back it up. Some of you may know like a little bit about this sort of industry. Lots of people have a great way of talking about things, but actually when it comes to then showcasing how their methodology or how their process works, it's not really been proven. Everything that I share with you today, the only stuff I ever share publicly, and I do lots of these workshops, is very much tried and tested, not just on my own business, also it's tested from hundreds of customers that we have worked with. And there are some things that you need in place, and there are some businesses that this may not work for. So I want to kind of make sure that I get this in just in case it doesn't work for you. Now, my experience is telling me over the last 6 years-ish of doing this that I haven't found a product or service-based business when it doesn't work. So from whether you're an accountant, whether you're a coach, whether you are a solicitor, whether you sell chairs, whether you sell water online, it doesn't matter what it is that you're trying to sell. LinkedIn is a platform that lots of people are on, and presentations are a great way of getting people to even just hear about your products and services in the first place. And we have helped businesses, whether it's in their first week of starting, so like completely from zero, or companies that are the size of MasterCard, actually help put this campaign into place. So with it, there's nothing that you can't ask me that I won't answer. And if I haven't got any evidence that backs up that answer, I will tell you, right? And I'll be completely upfront to say that I don't have the answer to it. It's not much we haven't come across, but there may be the odd thing or two. I don't believe I know everything when it comes to this stuff that I may need to go away and have a look at for you. The big thing I want to make sure that you're aware of is the time that it takes. Now, I don't believe that this is a huge amount of time to put into your business, no matter what it is that you're doing, whether you're an employee working for a company or you are a business owner. For this to work for you, we need 6 hours a week, right? If you don't put in 6 hours a week to this process, unfortunately, I don't want to be someone that comes out here and says to you, you just need to put 10 minutes in and it'll work for you. like this process does require effort. It does need some time to put in, but when you do, there are huge amounts of it that you can automate to save your time. Okay. The other thing, and this is something that I want agreement on from everybody here before we move on, because it's an important mindset to have. This process works because you follow the numbers that are presented to you. So you look at the number of LinkedIn connections you're getting, you look at the number of messages you're sending, you look at the pieces of content that you're putting out there, then you look at how many people are watching your presentation, how many people are viewing your offer. We don't change anything on this process because of how we feel. We change it based on what the numbers tell us to do. And we only change one thing at a time. Can I just get a yes to make sure that everyone understands that for me in the chat box, that we don't change anything based on feeling, we purely change it based on the numbers? Excellent. Good. We're all on the same page. Now, the other thing that you need to make sure that you do, and this is something that I see a lot. So I speak to 30 to 40 businesses every single week at the moment. And what I find time after time is what their approaches are a bit more, again, a bit of a scattergun type mentality. And I'm not going to ask you how many you resonate with that. I'm sure it's a lot of you. But when it comes to your marketing and trying to generate business, it's, do you know, I've been told to post a bit of content. I'm going to put some content out there. Do you know, I need to get my website in place. I need to get my website done. And it's a bit of this and it's a bit of that. It's a bit of this and it's a bit of that. And it's not connected. And so one of the things that this campaign does for you is connect your activity. So when you wake up on a Monday, Tuesday, whatever day it is, you know what you need to be doing, why you're doing it, and what impact it's going to have. It allows you to have intent. It allows you to take control and actually understand how you move your business forward rather than waiting for growth to happen, which is what I see time and time again. And then the final thing that you need to make sure that you've got is you've also got to want it to work. So I know this sounds ridiculous, but again, I speak to lots and lots of people every single week. And when it comes to these strategies, this stuff, nothing I'm going to teach you today is rocket science. I promise you, it is so simple in logic and concept. However, lots of people want to try something for a month and make sure it's going to give them everything and it's going to give them a life-changing transformation. This won't change a life in a month. It won't. It needs practice. It needs testing. It needs amending. But what it will give you, looking at the numbers, is certainty that one, you're making progress, and two, that it will consistently grow over time, because it's inevitable. If you make the right changes, you're going to get better results every time that you run this campaign. And expectations, to set them right from the outset. And you can look on the right-hand side there from Lorna and Tony that have shared some of the stats with this specific LinkedIn campaign. If you implement this process, I like to put like a 90-day window on things to set the expectation for you all that this is something that you're going to run over and over and over again, because, I mean, why wouldn't you? And you will agree with me by the end of this if you have the right mindset, I promise you. I mentioned the words before on the previous slide that you're going to be proactively working with intent. And what I mean by that is driving people to your offer every single day online. I'm going to be talking to you a bit more about that as we go through. You're also going to be pushed, and I am going to push you. I'm going to encourage you to find one clear thing that you're wanting to sell first and get a process working to sell that one clear thing. You find the audience that wants that one thing, and then you create the process to lead them to buy that one thing. Again, obvious question. Give me a 1 in the chat if we think it's going to be easier to sell one thing than it is trying to sell 5. Obvious question, right? Obvious answer, but it is important they're on the same thing. And if you have multiple products and services like we do, that is okay. But build a process that sells one first, get it working, then do another, then do another, then do another. The biggest problem in this space right now is overwhelm, right? Lots of people are trying to do so many things at once. And unfortunately, no matter how big or small your company is, overwhelm and trying to do all of these things at once is just a shortcut to giving up. It's what I've found. It's just my experience with it. What you will also have is a set of clear metrics in place that you measure, right? So one of the biggest frustrations I hear from people is that they're doing all of this stuff, but they're a bit frustrated because they don't really know if it's working or not. Give me a yes in the chat if that is something that you resonate with. You're doing things, but can't quite work out whether it's actually working or adding any benefit at all, right? You can notice a lot of yeses coming. It's because I know this because I hear it. I'm repeating back just simply what I hear. Lots of people like show up online and don't really know what to do. By the end of this, when you go through and you implement this process, you're not just going to be sharing who you are and what you do online. You're going to be sharing content that actually showcases the impact that you make and demonstrates why people should work with you. A huge thing. And actually, it's what one of these presentations do. Like, that's the aim of me for this today, is to showcase to you what I have figured out, what our business does and how it works. But I'm also going to shove in so much value in here that you look at it and you go, well, it's actually undeniable that this person knows it, because we wouldn't have all of these results if not. And you will be seeing, like, sustainable is the key word here, like consistent sales opportunities, because it's logical. If you showcase your offer to more people, you're going to get more opportunity. One of the biggest problems that most people have is that they just don't tell people what they sell enough. So like what we're encouraging you to do with this process is to start sharing publicly like how good you are at what you do and what your business does. And it's just about packaging that up in a specific way. Now, I like to make sure that you get the most from this. And I know this might take you a little bit longer to type in, but what I want to know is, you've all registered for this for a reason today. Like, what is it that you're wanting from it? What is it that you want to learn? What is it like, if you came here with one objective, like, what is that objective? Because the answer to this for me kind of sets the scene for kind of the detail and the time that I spend doing the different things. And I appreciate you probably don't even know who I am, a lot of you, which I'm gonna be sharing like a tiny bit about in a second. But in the chat box for me, and I know some of you will be typing already, just share it. What are you wanting? So Adam said, to understand how to generate more leads from LinkedIn and how webinars can support that, to build trust with customers, a plan of action, cool. Understand how to create leads, how to get my content to appeal. Good. I'm going to be covering all of this so far. That's good. To attract property investors. Michelle, cool. Property is my background. I can talk to you about that. Generate more from LinkedIn, getting started. Cool. Okay, that's really helpful to me. So a lot of common themes actually throughout all of that, which is great. I'm going to be covering it all. Now, my goal for today, whether you're completely new to LinkedIn or you're already using it, what I want to give you today is something that you can implement, a process, like a checklist almost, for you to be able to go away and build. Because I know if you build this process, you will then come back and go, Chris, it worked. That's it, right? So I want to showcase to you like what this process is, why we believe it's so effective, and then how you can go about doing it. And I said that I'd share evidence. I want to make this like undeniable for you. So I'm not going to apologize for sharing like feedback that we've had, whether you're selling a 20K contract like Jessica is, or you're selling a 5K program that Odile was. We've dealt with businesses selling £1 trials all the way up to £100,000 contracts. Like, it is completely two ends of the spectrum and everything between that this works for. And I'm not someone that spends a lot of time talking about us, but I do want to make sure that you have a little bit of an idea of who we are. I mentioned that my background's in property. I started in business in 2018, I think it was. And I started off with a property business. I knew nothing about social media at the time. I knew nothing about selling online at the time. I accidentally built a following for myself, and then the business kind of grew off the back of that following. That was where I fell in love with online training and, online marketing. And then with it, I spent an awful lot of money on agencies, on trainings, on masterminds, trying to figure out like this. And I don't know if anyone else can resonate with this. Anyone spent money on agencies and trainings and all that stuff before? Give me a yes in the chat if you have. But I have, and I was trying to work out what this like secret formula was, because everyone else seemed to share that there was one. And so I was like, well, I want to actually go and figure out what that is, and spent an awful lot of money, and I got my fingers burnt, quite frankly. And what I ended up doing was kind of like just looking at my journey from Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, the stuff that I was doing, and basically just started to bullet point it down. Now, what happened as I grew that property business is that other people then started to ask me how I was doing what I was doing. And so I ended up helping hundreds of people for free because I didn't feel worthy of charging at the point. And that's kind of developed into what it is today, where we've helped thousands of businesses build these sorts of campaigns. We aren't a business that charges thousands of pounds. Like, that's not what we're about. And I'll be sharing with you a little bit about that in a second. Like, we are a subscription service. We're a training and software company. And I'm going to share it with you now. I'm going to be talking a little bit about it at the end. To work with us, it's £50 a month, £50 plus VAT if you're in a VAT registered country. But if you're overseas, it's £50. If you're in the UK, £50 plus VAT. So, like, we are something that everybody can try. And with it, I'm going to be sharing with you kind of how it works as we go through. Now, social selling is something that we started 5 and a bit years ago. And that email, I'm not going to read it to you on the right-hand side, but we have a bit of a vendetta against this guru training industry. It became very rogue in COVID. It was something that kind of really everybody was a trainer when the pandemic hit. And there are lots of people teaching how to grow businesses that have never grown one, people that I spent my money with. And what I found was that people were paying thousands of pounds for things that overpromised, underdelivered. And like I said, I've been a victim of it. And so Nick's built multiple businesses in his past, been very, very successful. He agreed to mentor me. We agreed to go into business together. I'm not going to tell that journey completely today, but we decided that the moment that we could affect this space, we would. And we launched something that just gives any business, no matter your size, the opportunity to grow without spending a fortune, and one that you can leave if you don't like it, not locking you into long-term contracts, etc., etc. And this email here of people drowning in debt, being in complete and utter financial disarray because someone's asked them to spend money that they didn't have, and now looking for urgent help is the reason why I'm now shouting a lot louder about what we do. Whether it's loans, agencies and coaches, like they've been told, these people, to charge huge amounts of money, and we want to disrupt that, right? So everything that I'm going to be talking to you about today, if you ever want to work with us, right, it's 50 quid a month. That's it. Right. And with it, it's everything. There's no secret upsells. You can pay to come to some of our in-person events for 100 quid, whatever. Like, you can come to those things, but they're just basically covering your food and drink for the day. But the core service is 50 quid a month. We're a small team, and we're very fortunate to be in a position to help hundreds of businesses with this every single day. Right. So I want to get that out of the way. And now I want to dive straight into this, because there is a reason why I love this combination. LinkedIn and live presentations right now. First off, I believe every business on the planet should have some form of pitch deck or presentation that sells their service, because it is the easiest way to be able to get someone to understand why it is that you do what you do. And when you structure them correctly, they give you that opportunity to proactively generate business. Looking at anyone that's on social media right now, right? We do cover the UAE, yes. Anyone that's looking to use these platforms right now, everybody, I believe, whether you've got 100 connections or you've got 10,000, you've got low-hanging fruit that just simply haven't heard about what it is that you do. And so with this approach, you not only build up your credibility, but you also give other people the chance to realize how great you are at what you do. And what's even better when you combine it with LinkedIn is that LinkedIn gives you the opportunity to promote these for free on the platform, whether it's via LinkedIn events that are extremely powerful when you do them right, or direct messaging, right? So what I mean by a presentation is actually like what I'm delivering now. So what I'm delivering to you now is a presentation that actually, I'm going to be sharing with you more details about this, but helps you realize whether you've got the problem that I solve or not, helps you realize that the solution that is available, and then helps you realize that our service solves the problem. So it gives you value because it teaches you things, but also helps you get to know us a little bit more. That's what a presentation does. And I'm going to be covering you that it could be a 5-minute presentation or it could be a 3-day presentation. It doesn't matter. But we've generated, utilizing LinkedIn alone, so just LinkedIn, 11,500 leads for free. And we are a business that also pays for advertising. We teach paid advertising as well. And if we were looking at our meta costs, so the way that we advertise, to get 11,500 leads, we'd have to pay pretty much around about 50 grand. And with it, whether it's the LinkedIn event, which is free to use, or it's paid advertising that you can see kind of how we've promoted this presentation today. We've got £4.31 a lead, which is the number that I've used. So £4.31 per registration, which is, you times that by 11,500, £50,000 it would have cost us. You can use LinkedIn for free, right? Direct messaging, LinkedIn events, content. I'm going to be training you on all of this today. And I've broken it down. By the way, does that sound like quite exciting? Does that sound like something that's worth knowing, at least worth knowing, kind of like what to do and how to do it before I get into the content of this all today, right? And again, with it, not even that difficult. So I'm going to take you through connection. I'm then going to take you through control. And then I'm going to take you through conversion, the 3 areas of today. And this is the process. So I know what you're all going to say. Can you send me a copy of this process? Right? And whether you join us or not, you're going to get a copy of this. Okay. All I need you to do to be able to get a copy of this connection, control, conversion, close, this whole conversion campaign that I'm talking to you about today, is you scan that QR code and come and connect with me on LinkedIn. One of my biggest tips to you all, I'm going to give it to you now. Whenever you get a moment to connect with someone, connect with them. Whether it's networking, whether it's online, whether it's offline, I'm doing it now. I'm trying to incentivize you to come and connect with me. Anybody that comes and connects with me, if we're already connected, just send me the message workshop, right? So press connect, send me the message of workshop. That tells me that you're here. And with it, after this workshop, you will receive a copy of that process, a PDF copy of it. Our gift to you simply for just coming and connecting with me. Go find Chris Taylor online, find me, connect with me, send me that message as we go through. We're now going to go through it, right? We're going to go through connection. So this is how you build your LinkedIn audience. So for those of you that are brand new or your experience, this is how we build our audience up and then begin a relationship where the right people begin coming to you. So there's 3 areas to this. If you are taking notes as we're going through, not a problem at all, Nick, that's fine. But we've got 3 areas, right? We've got prospecting, engaging, and posting. Now, someone's just said, can I connect next week and still receive? Yeah, of course you can. Not a problem at all. Prospecting, engaging, and posting. Now, some of you, one person's already asked, that QR code in the top right-hand corner, if you decide that like you want to join us, I just want to make you aware that it's there. If you want to join the software and the membership and come and join the training, that QR code just takes you to the page. So you don't have to scan it now, but it is there and it's going to be there throughout the whole of the presentation. Okay. Prospecting, engaging, and posting. So prospecting is something that unfortunately people either do terribly or don't do at all. So this is the power of network building and direct messaging. And you've got an example of one of the, I think we've got 12 different message templates that we use depending on what it is that you're selling. But on the right-hand side there, we've got one example of one, which is basically a value-added direct message. Every single week without fail, you can send 150 connection requests. So you can go and search for whoever it is that you're trying to connect with. Could be a managing director. Out of interest, in the chat box for me, who is it that you want to connect with? What's the job title? Let's start there. The job title of the sort of person that you want to work with. Let's just have a little look at what we've got. Public affairs, C-suite, coach, tech recruiters, directors, CIOs, directors. I mean, directors is always the most common one. So you'd go on, you'd search for director, and you can go and connect as long as they are not connected to you already. You can send them a connection request, just like lots of you have just done with me. Send them a connection request. You can send 150 of those every single week. Now, there is a way to automate it. We teach how to automate it, but just manually to begin with, you can go out there and connect with 150 of your potential clients every single week, okay? To break down a percentage for those of you taking notes, you should be expecting 50% of those to accept. That is the target that we set ourselves. And with it, that is actually something that everybody should be able to hit. Now, when it comes to direct messaging, I bet we're all probably receiving direct messages at the moment and probably a little bit like disillusioned, I guess is the word, around like the sort of messages that you receive. Has anybody received a salesy direct message in the last week or two? Has anyone? I don't know if anyone has. And I receive them probably 2 or 3 a day. I look at it and I'm like, if they just change their mentality to rather than trying to take from us, we try and give. The I don't understand the logic of trying to take from someone from point one. It doesn't make any sense to me. If you can just go out there and actually go, do you know what? I'm not looking for in-depth conversations right now, because realistically, if you met someone in the street or you met someone at a networking event, the longest you could probably ever get, and that's one-to-one, it's probably 10 minutes of conversation before they're like, I've got to go. So to try and take that from someone at point one genuinely makes no logical sense to me. And so instead we flip it. And it's like, look, we're going to think about what are the things, the biggest objections, what are the things that people need, what are the tools that people would use that we could give away for free to go, do you know what? We're too busy to talk to people right now. But however, this is what we're giving to actually showcase how great we are at what we do. That is something which grabs attention. And I've done this for a number of years now. People have copied and stolen my templates and I get them back now. And I'm like, fair play, like whatever, it's all good. At least it works. Otherwise people wouldn't be doing it. Like most people send them without any real thought. And they think it's a numbers game. If I send 1,000, one person might download it. But after a number of years of doing this, you can template these messages. I've done it for a huge amount of businesses now. You can be personal in them as well. And this is why it's not a one-size-fits-all direct messaging process, because it's all relative to where you are in business, who you're trying to target, what it is that you're giving away, and your sales process. And I don't want to make this like overwhelming for you all, but you need to know all of those bits of information for this to work. And that is why so many people, unfortunately, struggle with it. It's because they don't have the knowledge around what gets people responding, what gets people clicking, what gets people showing up and downloading and taking action. And with it, I back it up, right? So this is just from the bit of software that I use. You can see the amount of responses that I get from my message. I think I've got like 1,000 unread like messages in my inbox because of the volume that we play at. But it's like, how many people there are saying thank you? Like, I'm not going back and having lots of conversations, but with it, people are then downloading, they're joining email lists, they're coming to workshops and webinars. I mean, I'm not expecting, there's only, how many of you are on there today? There's 120 of you currently online. I'm not expecting a huge amount, but who here is here because they received the direct message from me? If you didn't, that's fine. But if you did, just pop a yes in. So I've got a couple of people saying it like directly to me. We've got Angela, Claire, Visha, like, you can see here, right? Like, I am direct messaging to get people to come to these workshops, and you've shown up, right? So with it, it's just about, and it proves if you send the right message at the right time to the right person talking about the right thing, you can get it. And this has happened time and time again. Piers here is the bottom message that you're after. Piers shared his results with our group and felt like actually probably shouldn't have shared them. I was like, no, feel free to share them. And actually, he said, honestly, you'll never fully appreciate how much you have changed my life for the positive. I literally see new bookings in my diary every day. That is simply from direct messaging, right? Direct messaging, getting people to a small, Piers had a pre-recorded video that he'd done utilizing the presentation structure. It was 5 to 10 minutes. And all he does was just sending people every day to that 5 to 10 minute video, which then set up the desire to book the call. This is what we're doing here. And this is what you're going to learn even more about as we progress through. So this here, you can see I sent 928 invitations. I had slightly below the 50% there. So you can see 352 people accepted my connection. So 37.9% connection rate. And then every single one of those 352 received a message, of which I had 49 replies, right? Everyone see that? Can I get a yes in the chat? Everyone see those numbers and kind of see how the metrics work? Adam does, Bal does. Good. Okay, excellent. So that's how it works. That's how we progress through. And then one of the things that we provide in our software, and this is, again, this isn't white labeled software, this is our own developed software, is we provide you with a service that then tracks the links. So the links that you put in your direct messages, lots of people don't track the performance of them. And so what we do is we provide the software of which you utilize a SweetPaid link, right? So you'll put sweetpaid.co/guide. You send that link out, and then it tracks who's opened it, who's clicked it, who's engaged with it. It goes into so much detail that you can then look at and go, do you know what? That link's not working, or that webinar invite isn't working, or that strategy call link isn't working. It's that data, which I'm going to be talking to you about as we progress through this, that is like one of the most important things that you can track and pay attention to, because that way we remove the hope from it. And this is one of the first bit of metrics that we look at. How many people are clicking the links that we send? And again, with the campaign training, I'm not going to go into that into too much detail, but we break down this process inside just one of the courses that we provide. We then have engagement. So that's prospecting. We now have engagement. So engagement is something which is about commenting on the newsfeed. I'm not a huge believer in it, but it does have its place. Lots of you would have been to an in-person networking event, I'm sure, and then you've been speaking to that person at the event. Commenting on the newsfeed is kind of similar to that. And I'm going to reiterate it, don't do a huge amount of it. However, I wouldn't be doing my job unless I told you that doing it 5 to 10 minutes before you put your piece of content live is going to be beneficial for you. We're in a position now where just direct messaging and just paid advertising with elements of content fills our pipeline more than we could ever deal with. And so it's not something to do a huge amount, but if you're just starting out, then it is something that we encourage you to do. You create a core list of people, and with it, we worked with a guy called Eric Partaker, right? So I don't know if anyone's heard of Eric before, but we worked with him for just over a year. Michelle, it's £50 a month. That QR code in the top right-hand corner takes you to the page. It's £50 per month. But Eric was someone that went into engagement quite hard. And so he's done engagement more than me. Eric's got, again, I don't teach people how to build a follower amount of millions, right? Eric has got that. He's done incredible things with his leadership coaching business. But with it, he engaged and engaged and engaged. He posted, he direct messaged, he did everything that we're talking about here. And to be fair, he's never looked back since. You just got to go and check Eric's profile out to see the journey that he's been on. It's pretty ridiculous. Now we go about content. Who's here? Give me a 1 in the chat if you hear about content. You want to learn a little bit more about content. I'm doing that kind of because I want to drink. Good, a few of you. Now, content is probably the thing that I get asked about the most. And most people either default to not sharing anything because they don't know what to talk about, or they share information like it's solely about their personal sob stories, or it's about education top tips, right? Things that I see online quite a lot. One of the things people don't show, though, and I find this really crazy, is they don't share how they make an impact. They don't share what it is that they're actually doing with their clients, with what they would do with their prospects. They don't share the big key issues in their space and talk about how they deal with them. And I think they do that they don't do that due to fear of low engagement. They think that people, like, the only content that should be posted is content that's going to get 100 reactions. Does anyone relate to that, by the way? Like, you have a bit of a fear of low engagement, so you don't talk about certain things. I don't know. Caroline does. So I see it a lot. And I want you to realize here that engagement isn't the sign of great lead generating content. I'm going to say it again. Engagement isn't the sign of high performing lead generation content. I promise you it's not. Engagement is part of this process, right? But it's not all of it. And do you know what? Fair play for admitting that. A fear of posting full stop. I'm sure lots of people do, actually. And I guarantee you're not the only one. And there'll be some people that feel the opposite to that, but still aren't getting the results, right? Fear of posting typically comes from not knowing what to say, not knowing how to say it, and a fear of looking a bit silly. Content, if I'm going to break it down to its most simplest point, of which we do in our training to a lot of detail, it's simple in logic. It's about taking your prospects on a journey from problem unaware to solution aware. So what problem unaware means, like we've done a lot of polls on this in the public domain. The majority of people that we're trying to reach out to for your businesses, whatever it is that you're doing, the majority of people that you're trying to reach out to don't even know or don't want to acknowledge that they've got the problem that you solve in the first place. Does that make sense? Before I move on, that's got to make sense first. Like, lots of people, the majority, don't even realize they've got the problem. And so what happens is when we're trying to meet people with what we call, here's my solution type content, what ends up happening as a result of that is that it gets scrolled past and ignored because people have no interest in it. They have no interest in it purely because they're not even aware that they've got the problem in the first place. And so what you've got to do with lots of your content when you connect with someone, when you're starting to share, is rather than sharing solution-focused content, it's about sharing in a specific format. This is the problem that most people don't realize that they've got. This is how I've realized that they've got it. And this is how we actually help this person overcome it. And this was the result that they got. Some people share like them as case studies, and they just share graphics of like, Tim is fantastic at what he does. You need to work with him. I never want you to share anything like that again. I want you to share the story and the journey of problem unaware to then solution aware 3 times a week, just sharing how you solve a specific problem that the customer may not even know that they have yet. Share the symptoms. How would they recognize it? Because the moment that you do that, the moment that you help someone self-identify a problem, you help them feel a bit smarter. They then feel like, you know what? This person actually helped me realize this. They've made me feel good about themselves. I'm now going to then engage and react to them. Like the moment you help someone feel that and understand that, they're going to be a lot more open to hearing about the solution. And when you then create the right content, lots of people say that you've got to just post for months, like 6 months of consistency, and that's when it will happen. Then when it gets to 6 months, it's like, you've just got to do it for a month longer. It's a lie. Complete and utter lie. When you post the right content in the right way, you will get opportunity straight away. When you strike the right chord with the right, but it's common sense, right? If someone's got the problem, they're aware of the problem, they're then searching for the answer, and you show up. Why would your content take 6 months to do that? It doesn't. If it hits the right person at the right time, it will then generate the inquiry. But you've got to build the process that helps people get there. And what goes viral, unfortunately, isn't what generates your leads. So what we do with anybody that we work with is we set you a target, a 365-day target that anybody can hit, whether you've got 100 followers or you've got 100,000 followers. It doesn't matter. But to reach 1 million people in 365 days. That pushes you enough to show up enough to hit those stats, but it also pushes you to stretch your comfort zone a bit to try different things, because you won't do it and you won't achieve it unless you've got the mindset to want to change. Now, how often is too often to post content on LinkedIn? Fantastic question. Like typically, I will look to encourage people, and I do it myself, 3 times a week up to every day. But 3 times a week to 4 times a week is kind of the sweet spot. It works for us as creators, but also as consumers, like for people that consume content, it's enough to remember someone, but not enough to annoy someone. I'm hoping that makes sense. Now, Philippa is someone that did push herself. She spoke about something, and this was within, I think, 6 weeks. She nailed this piece of content, but it's slightly controversial. She was talking about ADHD in the recruitment industry. And this is a prime example of the right piece of content generates you like the right results. Like she had over 50 people messaging her, thanking her for being in voice. And she had 32 messages of people wanting to work with her. That was candidates and clients. The best day of the week, like the best day and time. Day doesn't really matter. Ironically, Sundays are really, really good days. But I always like to get my content done first thing in the morning, purely because then it's done and out of the way. So it's nothing about performance. It's more about getting it done and out the way, so I don't have to worry about it then for the rest of the day. Okay. This is some of the content that I will share. So I don't share deep sob stories and personal stuff, really. I share a little bit of humor and sarcasm, like ripping our industry to shreds. I do a lot of the time. I share some of the insights and some of the things that I learn. And with it, these aren't reaching millions of people, but they don't need to. What they do is they showcase who I am, what I'm about, and how I help people. And that's what I want to encourage all of you to do. And you can grab a screenshot of that if you want, and you can go through it again. But with it, you don't even really need a big following to do it. Zoe, you can see, Zoe needs to change her name on LinkedIn now, actually. Me and Zoe are now married. But we have 880 followers Zoe had on LinkedIn when this piece of content went live. And you can see here, she reached 133,000 people with 880 followers, right? Now, there's a reason why the dog is involved. You can read her description. You can see, I help busy people with cash in the bank increase their wealth through hands-off property investments into property to create dog-focused holiday lets. From that piece of content, she performed very, very well with that piece. I just watched a short video. Zoe had an optimized profile. She was active. The profile acted as a landing page. The person consumed that video, reached out saying, I have considerable experience with dogs. and considering investment opportunities. Content is something which is a skill. You develop it. Sometimes at the beginning, you won't know what to do, but as you progress, as you push further, you'll learn and you'll learn and you'll learn and you'll learn. And hopefully you'll then receive a message like that. Hey, Chris, you got me with your content and would love a meeting so I could explain how you may be able to help one of my clients and learn more about your offer. Do you have a link so I can book a slot? Who would like some messages like that landing in their inbox, by the way? Like nice and easy. They've connected with the content that's gone out there, but that comes from sharing the impact that I have and also helping people realize that I'm approachable in the right way. Excellent stuff. Cool. You'll have realized that at this point, I've not yet mentioned your profile. Okay. So I'm not going to spend hours on it either, because I'm going to be offering you something in a second that you'll be very, very grateful for. Your profile, though, to cover it off, acts as a landing page. And what we use it for is to drive your prospects away from LinkedIn and into your campaign. Right? So presentation campaign, webinar campaign, going to be covering that in a second. But it's to take people, right, from your profile, move them into your campaign. The reality of most people's profiles, though, is they don't lead their viewers anywhere useful. And if you check out my own profile, you'll see that everything is programmed to drive you off of LinkedIn. I don't ask you to message me. I don't ask you to do anything other than click this, go here, download that. And it doesn't matter whether you're selling product or service, big or small, there are some key parts that you need to get right. But we're making it really easy for people. And today, I mean, there's quite a number of you online. We may be able to do a few more than 10. We'll see on numbers. But for the first 10 people, I can guarantee that if you join us today, we are going to write your profile. So my team, me and my team, we're going to write your profile for free. So again, with it, I'm making you aware of it now. The QR code will be there. If you are one of the first 10 that decide to join us for the £50 plus VAT per month, you will get your profile written by us. We just need you to answer a few questions. And we'll write it in this way, right? So you have the about section that sits there. It talks about who we are, what our products are. We then set your targets for you. So again, within the profile rewrite, we look at where your stats are, and we then set your targets. We look at your featured section. We'll give you advice on what to put in that featured section. And then we start to track the numbers of clicks, start to track the numbers of followers, because guess what? Inside of the software, you're going to be utilizing the link tracking software so we can see and help guide you and push you in the right direction. Has connection made sense so far? Yes, it is for the first 10. I will check at the end. If they all go really quickly, I will check at the end to see if we can do a few more, but I don't know yet. I'll have to just wait. I'll get to the end and I'll answer it. But that's all making sense. It's making sense to Caroline. Is it making sense to anybody else, or is it just Caroline and I completely and utterly confused you all? Good. There's a few of you that are now piling in. Excellent stuff. Good. So now we move into control, which is the process that drives your target market to register to watch these presentations. And there's two parts, process and performance. Now, although the process is simple with this, there are some things that you need to understand for it to work. If you're running them live, you need to run them every month, really. A one-off, unfortunately, if you're going to run one of these, unfortunately, it's not going to work. You need to set the mindset to go, do you know what? Every month, if I'm going to run them live, I'm going to run them every month, and I'm going to block the next 6 months in. Yes, that QR code is there in the top right-hand corner, Michelle. It's there for you. Just lost my train of thought. You've got to run them every single month. You've got to set your mindset, and we get everybody to do this as part of the checklist, is set your mindset, if you're running them live, that for the next 6 months, you're just going to run one. If you're looking to automate them, can anyone else see the, I will, hold on a second. Sorry, guys, 2 seconds. You know what? It's there for you if you want it. I don't know if the QR code's working, but it's there for you. If you're looking to automate it, so you're creating an evergreen version, you need to review the numbers consistently. So you need to be looking at them every week. If you're not looking at them every week, you're gonna forget like where you're at and what you need to do. I'm going to put my face up there so it's a bit different. So Mads has just put live on LinkedIn. I've heard you need to be approved. No, you don't need to be approved. I'm live on Zoom right now, and you've registered from LinkedIn, but you've come to Zoom, or you've registered from email and come to Zoom, or you've registered from Facebook and come to Zoom. So I'm running it on Zoom. This is live, and this would be an example of a live platform, okay? You have 3 areas of focus, really, if you want to write them down with this campaign. You've got new audience growth, because you do need to build your audience. If you're just using your existing one, unless you've got a big one, you're going to fatigue. So you've got to track new audience growth. We then want, this is live, Lorne, and you can prove it because I'm here. Hello. And this is completely live. So you have 3 areas, right, of focus: new audience growth, registration numbers, and sales. Great. So make event and link to Zoom, got it. But LinkedIn has a live on LinkedIn as well. Yeah, I wouldn't run them live on LinkedIn. I wouldn't do it. You want to collect the email addresses. So the registration numbers are the number of email addresses that you collect. And it doesn't matter if you want 1 sale a month or you want 50, right? Your activity will then be determined by your target. So if you want 50 sales, we need to work out how many registrations we need. And to be fair, if you're wanting 50, you want to be aiming for a 10% conversion rate, right? So 50 means 500 registrations, right? So 500 people to consume your presentation. It converts at 10%, it will give you 50, right? So let's just humor me here to make the math right. If you want 1 sale a month, how many people do you need to consume your webinar, presentation, workshop if they convert at 10%? 10, bang on the money, exactly that, spot on. So the maths are there, right? Nice and simple for you to be able to work through. Sustainable growth comes from having your offer out there every single week without fail. And when you do that, no doubt, like literally, it is just logic, your monthly revenue then grows every single month. And that's what George found there, the previous, I didn't cover the WhatsApp message, but that's basically what he shared. That the moment he started putting his offer out there into the marketplace in this way, his revenue has continued to grow. And the aim of the game of this, if we come back to this process here, we've got connection on the left-hand side, which is about network building and direct messaging and the LinkedIn event. We're then going to drive people to our email list or a pre-recorded 5 to 10 minute video that gets people to either 1, book a call in, 2, buy our service, or 3, come to a live presentation, right? So there's 3 different areas that we go through. We then drive those people through, and a number of them, a percentage of them will convert. So if you get 100 registrations, you can expect 50 of them to show up. If 50 of them show up, you can expect 5 of them to then convert to the next logical step. That is as simple as we go, as long as you deliver it using the structure that I'm about to go through. People do sometimes have a bit of a fear of technology. I'm going to cover this off because actually it's quite simple. First of all, we teach you about the technology, what buttons to press, how to press them. But really, for those of you that don't decide to join us, you're going to need an email marketing system. So something like MailChimp or MailerLite. We are launching our own service of this towards the end of the year. So for anyone that joins at £50 a month, this will be included. But with it, it's about sending emails to promote your presentations, promote your assets, promote the things that are going to promote your offers. An email marketing system. You're going to want something like Zoom or Teams to host your webinars or host your presentations. If you are pre-recording them, so who doesn't like the idea? Yes, you can use Go High Level. Yes, you can. Who here doesn't like the idea of live? Give me a yes if you don't like the idea of live. A yes in the chat if you don't like the idea of live webinars. All right, I'm going to assume there's a number of you. If you don't like live, you can pre-record them, right? You can have a 5 to 10 minute little small one, but it's delivered and gets you talking in a way that gets people to understand why you do what you do, how you impact them, and then how you then serve them, right? Record them. So if it's evergreen, you can use Loom or you can use Zoom. And with that, you get that then on a landing page and you drive your traffic rather than to a live webinar, you drive them then to an evergreen webinar. I love live, I love evergreen, I love everything as long as it drives my offers out there, right? You are going to need a system to host your landing pages. Inside of the £50 a month service, you have the ability to build your own landing pages. So we provide this and it is being improved and developed as we go on. Can you use Evergreen to drive to live? Yes, you can. So again, you can use 5 to 10 minute short videos to drive people to an hour, 2 hours, sometimes 1 day types of webinar and presentation. But then we also have link tracking, as I've mentioned before, which is included in the service. And you can see the data from my webinar direct messages. You can see I have had 16 visits in about a day and a half. You can see there 3 days that it was live. It tracks the unique users. It tracks how many QR scans have been done. And that's just one that I use as a bit of a demo with it. Paul, I've never heard of that before, if I'm honest, so I wouldn't know. Our offer, I'm going to be talking to you a bit about it at the end anyway, but it's kind of all-encompassing, I guess, is the only way that I could do it. Once we get that sensation, like that presentation complete, the stats then tell us where we need to focus. So Donna you can see here, I think this webinar is really clicking together more. I feel there is a far better flow. These are things that we work on together. Now, does anyone get a little bit frustrated when there seems to be like that much to do that you don't know where to start? If my business won't benefit from the Zoom presentation, what other engagement is possible? Pre-recorded, Oksana, I've mentioned that before. There's lots of other ways that you can do it. It doesn't have to be Zoom. But to answer that question, guys, 3 of you heard me. Who gets a little bit overwhelmed? Don't know where to start, too much to do? Give me a yes in the chat if you do. Give me an idea. Let's have a look. See what the percentage of people are. Quite a number of you. Good. This process eliminates that because the numbers are the thing that give you certainty with it. They give you the priorities, and when you focus in on them, they allow consistent growth because you know what to do on. If we don't, here's an example, like if we don't get 20 people or more registered to your presentation, so whether it's pre-recorded, whether it's to a live session, whatever, like if we don't get 20 people consuming it, we need to focus in on the front end. So we focus our time and energy on getting more registrations. If we don't get a 40 to 50% show up rate, 40% is the minimum. We need to focus in on nurturing people, reminder sequences, SMS, content that goes out there. So we focus in on that area. If we don't convert 10%, then we need to work on the target market or the message or the delivery. There are certain things that you can focus in on to be able to get it working. And I'm not going to read Donna's out there, but she's put 8 different things there that have transitioned for her from the new pipeline of customers through a tried and tested process to being able to build out that webinar that she can convert customers to buy a program. When I started, she just did everything that we said, from how to draw in attention from my content, how to grow my network, how to create a robust process to bring people towards it. And with it, she's put, sorry about the typos there. I'm not going to read it all, but I can promise you it's positive, and you can read that all in your own time at some point if you like. And that is on my LinkedIn profile as well, but it's just about following the process. So that's how we take control. We now move into conversion. And as I mentioned at the beginning, the best businesses have a pitch deck, right? They have something in place. But the problem is lots of people like presenting boring stuff. Webinars like this are designed to be delivered both live or in an automated way. What we call it is a conversion asset. And what we are talking about here isn't just delivering live like me right now. Like I mentioned, a 5-minute video, or you could do a 3-hour in-person day if you wanted to. The importance isn't focusing on the medium to deliver or the length of it. It's the content that goes into it, how you deliver it, and most importantly, the way that you set up the next logical step. Once you have this in place, you can then use it to sell your service without having to spend hours talking to someone. And you can see an example here where I've messaged somebody. So, hey, Caroline, I hope you don't mind the message, February 6th. She then comes back 30-ish days later saying, hope you're well this week. Can you tell me a little bit more about the Social Selling Academy you advertise on your profile? Trying to work out if it's right for me. I then go back saying, what's the best email number to get you on to gather the info? More than happy to talk you through it. I provide an initial strategy call. So strategy call has been offered. But I also have a free training that you can watch, which explains a bit more about it as well. That was at 2:21 p.m. That then goes through. Sounds good if you're free now. The training video sounds good as well. Feel free to send over a link. Hi, Chris. 3 hours later, loved the webinar, signed up, had a few issues with the payment page, excited to get started. I used the asset to actually do the selling for me. I then added a bit of value on the call. The webinar actually sold my service, right? That's what we're looking for here as we're going through. We've personally helped over 650 businesses in the last 5.5 years do it. And not a single one has ever not made a return. Now, it's a bold claim, but remember, we're only charging £50 plus VAT a month for this. So it's not hard to make a return on it, to be fair. Can we use this system to give away a free audit? Yes, you can, Nick. Exactly that. Jamie on the right-hand side there is still utilizing the exact same webinar we wrote together in 2020. That started with a little funnel drawing that you can see on the bottom right-hand corner there. That generated £46,000 in 2 weeks. 44 customers joined him in 2 weeks. And that was from 2 webinars that he ran. So many people, though, have opportunity in their networks. And yes, that QR code will take you to it. Yes, it will. But they simply don't give their prospects an opportunity to buy. Jamie and Aspire did 7 figures of revenue from that webinar that we created. That was in 12 months. And now have done over £15 million in the last 5 years. Now, like, not everybody wants to get to that stage. But like, how many sales, and I sit here with complete and utter confidence, because like, how many sales realistically do you need every month? Is it 1? Is it 5? Is it 20? The role of your asset and how we put it together is basically what I mentioned before. You pay people from not aware to service aware in as quick as a time frame as you possibly can. Most people that you're connected with don't realize that they've got the problem that you solve. They also don't know that you exist. So the reason why so many people struggle is because they don't even start looking for a solution until someone else goes and does it for them. Like the people that you're targeting, you need to educate them. You need to wake them up. And you need to get them to the position where they're not searching for a solution, but you're already there with your solution in front of them at the time that they want it. Our conversion assets, the things that we're going to build, are built to take people on that journey, just like this one has today. And I say this to our clients, if you're utilizing social or you want to, you're literally one asset away from the sales that you're after. You just need to build out this process. And again, it doesn't matter if you're Antonio or lots of the others, like Angie, who got 329 registered utilizing that LinkedIn strategy that I mentioned, 17 calls booked with 9 to chase. Like we tweaked it, we amended it, and we kept going and going and going. We don't stop with this. We keep improving. And so to summarize all of this, the process that we take you through is we get really clear and we train you to work out what that offer is going to be, who you're going to target, and the message that you need to use to engage them. We will teach you how to and give you advice on how to do it. We're then going to show you how to build and engage that network. And if you want to write down the things that you need to do and not join us, you can. But you build and engage your network. You then build out this funnel, this webinar campaign. You build out the presentation, you test the process, and then you measure it. So the training, Michelle, I'm going to go through that in a second. It's online. Some of it's pre-recorded, but we deliver every Monday and Thursday live with Q&A. So you can bring your problems, bring your questions to us. And so there's both live, there's e-learning, and there's also a community there as well. So Monday at 12 p.m., Thursday at 2 p.m. Okay. And I want to invite all of you to try it, because with this, you've got a huge opportunity to build this over the next 30, 60, 90 days. We're very close to the end of the year. And when you get an evergreen one, right, it works over Christmas periods, holiday periods. And I want to help you do it. Okay. So the Social Selling Suite and the Academy is a monthly subscription. Okay. I don't want you to come in and like just say, I don't know, I'm going to give it 30 days and see if it works. I want you to set your mind that this is going to be at least a 2 to 3 month minimum project for you. Set your mind to the end of the year and you're going to give it a go. Because again, with it, the right mindset is paramount with this. Now, with it, there is no contract, right? There's a 30-day notice period, but I want you to come to this with that mindset. There is live delivery with Q&A. We deliver the content both live and also have it all recorded. You learn, you implement, and then you get feedback on those sessions as you go. This is about not just LinkedIn, but it's about building, growing, and scaling your business. We currently have 7 of our core courses live. I don't believe in over-education. I believe on teaching you the things that you need to know to get this working. But every month we're requested to build the new trainings. And so that's what we do. Every 1 to 2 months, we're building, adaptive, improving the education that we've got. So you've got one place that you can learn everything that you need to be able to grow. We are looking for people that aren't just going to sign up and do sweet FA and do nothing. We are looking for people to implement this stuff, because you will notice we have lots and lots of people saying how good we are at what we do. We do that because I say this on these workshops. We only want you a part of it if you're going to do it 6 hours a week, put the effort in, and then you will be one of those people that we talk about. That is how we have such a big success rate. We start today. This isn't start next week or start next month. We start right away. And by this time next week, if you follow the getting started, the clarity in the webinar training, you will already start to see the difference of what we teach you, because it's very, very quick. It's dynamic. It gets you moving. You have elements of this, the wheel that we go through. So this is our LinkedIn training. So principles, profile, prospecting, posting, profits, planning. We take you through it all. We cover everything from offers, target market, building your audience, building your email list, profile optimization. I can't go through all of this. It's too much. Slide decks, webinar presentations, automation, working out your pricing, sales call structures, getting your deals. So closing deals, paid advertising, selling to corporates, selling to consumers, plus all of it. And again, with it, people charge thousands. We're charging £50 plus VAT per month. On top of that, you have a community with over 300 businesses in that you can network with. We have the software that's also included, like landing pages and link tracking. We have checklists, templates, walkthroughs that basically give you checklists. Tick this off, tick that off, tick this off, tick that off. Like, we're removing every single excuse. Lorne, yes, they can. Not a problem at all. Caroline, that's also okay. The checklist, like one of them is there. That's a presentation campaign checklist. So from presentation goals to presentation topics to the content, there's checklists and videos that you work through. You ask us anything that you want, and we will give you the feedback. And it's not just randomers in there. I'm in there. My business partner, Nick's in there. Elise is in there. We're all in here helping you get through all of this. Now, today, right, for the first 10, I've already mentioned, for the 10 of you that joined today, still a few spots left, we have a one-to-one personalized profile rewrite. We will write your profiles for you. We're also going to invite you, because some people like to know like a little bit of strategy, some stuff that's a bit more personal to them. So for the people that join, you join like a little exclusive group session only for you. And with it, we're then going to talk through this process, how it works, and more importantly, where you need to start. That session, there's numbers of them that go on throughout the month. You just choose the one that you want to come into. There will be a date and time that works for you. I promise you, we've done it for that reason. This is normally reserved for our one-to-one clients, but our one-to-one service is currently closed. Gabby, don't worry, I will sort that out for you afterwards. Now, if you're on the fence, then here's the deal. Like, come and work with us for 2 to 3 months. Just let us help you, but you've got to be willing to implement this. People don't leave us. We have a great retention rate. We've got over 300 businesses that work with us every single month. And they are the businesses, though, that implement. We, of course, have people that decide that it's not right for them. Typically, 90% of the time, it's because they don't have the time to put into it. If you want to start seeing this process work, it's 6 hours a week. I'm telling you it now. I'm not hiding it from you. 6 hours a week. So if you're tired of trying to figure it out alone, if you want something that's proven like you've seen today, at a price that I think is ridiculous, it's £50 plus VAT. And yes, you can. I'm going to put in here, yes, you can, Vishak, you can get your social media manager to join it. I'm going to put it in here again. There's 2 links, but both of them work. It's in there for you. Now, I'm going to go through Q&A now. I'm slightly over. I'm going to go through Q&A for you. If you have any questions, please pop them. Whether now, it doesn't matter, chat box or Q&A, it's totally fine, okay? Even better, Mads, even better for you. What do you do when the person you message doesn't reply? At this point, for the first 30 days, I don't want to seem desperate and I don't follow them up. After 30 days, they may receive an invite to my next workshop or a release of my next lead magnet, etc., etc. Okay? You will be included in that EMADS 100%, or Madzi, forgive me for not pronouncing your name properly. You will get the profile rewrite. Yes, there's still a couple of spots left. So with this stuff, like, this isn't about hounding people. It's not about chasing people. It's actually about creating the assets, creating the journey that people are going to go on themselves without you forcing them down there, because no one likes being forced to buy things. Anna, does your group membership include any one-to-one, any group sessions, or is it is group sessions? So it's both, Anna. So every Monday at 12 p.m., there's a group coaching session that me or my business partner, Nick or Elise, run. It's an hour long, Monday at 12 p.m., Thursday at 2 p.m. They are also recorded, right? Just so you know. No worries at all, Michelle. And with one-to-one, if you want a one-to-one call with me, I think they're like 150 quid for like an in-depth session with me, right? So you can buy one-to-one time, but I'm in the community every day. I look, I review, I read people's content. I look at their messages. Like, again, with it, if you want real in-depth stuff, you can get it, but it's not thousands and thousands of pounds, okay? Just to make you know, okay? But yeah, there is online courses as well. So it covers everything. I've tried to build something that's got everything in. I think that's probably the easiest way of saying it. How many posts become overkill on LinkedIn, Adam? I think I answered that, Adam. So between 3 posts a week and 4 is like the sweet spot. If you can do every day and you can make it interesting every day and you enjoy it, every day is fine. Anything more than that, it's probably a bit overkill. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to leave early, but this presentation is fab. Can I get the recording afterwards? Yes, I will be sending a recording. Is this relevant to companies selling sculptors? We are not a training company. Yes, product, service, whatever it is that you're doing, 100% selling whatever it is. Yes, it works. Are the trainings also recorded if someone can't attend live? Yeah, of course they are. You can get them immediately afterwards. So they're in there for you to be able to consume. Yes, 100%. If my business won't benefit from Zoom presentation, what other engagement is possible? So I mentioned that before, so pre-recorded. I do encourage you to do video because lots of you would never have joined our service today if you hadn't have seen and heard me, right? So with it, we're looking to get you building out whatever asset it is that's going to talk about whatever it is that you're selling. Doesn't matter what service, what product. What I'm encouraging you to do is build a process and use a platform to get people to that process. Rebecca, Caroline, is it a good fit for specialist family practitioner ADHD coach? Yes, 100% if you're a coach or consultant, 100%. I don't want to do a video with me. Can I do an amusing one? So you can do a faceless one, Michelle. You don't have to show your face. Is it good for a specialist family practitioner? Yes, it is, Caroline. I'm just going to say yes, it is, 100% without a doubt. Rebecca, for connection, do you recommend the use of Dripify? If this would help, is it mentioned that I can send more than 100, or is it not necessary if this is something covered in the £50 per month? So we don't use Dripify. We do recommend another software. They're exactly the same though, right? So the functionality is the same. We just have a better rate negotiated with the one that we use. And it's also one that I have tested for years and have never had issues with my account on. Some of them, I don't think anyone's ever had an issue with Dripify, to be fair. But there are some others that people have had issues with. So we do teach automation because people want it. I do use it on my account, but it's not mandatory. It's not necessary. You can do this manually, and then when you make money, you can then reinvest to the automation as you go through. Okay. Are there any other subscriptions recommended? How much do they cost? The only thing that I recommend, I mentioned the software like on there. You can do free versions of it all. So you do not need Sales Navigator. You do not need automation software. You would benefit from email marketing software 100%, but you can get a free MailChimp account. And again, when we launch ours, you will get it as part of your service. So it will be in there. Hosting a webinar. So I pay for Zoom webinar, but you can use Zoom meetings, or if you've got a Microsoft package, you can use Teams to be able to do it. Small £10-15 a month cost for the Teams one. Zoom webinar is a bit more expensive, but it has its benefits to it as well. But do it all for the lowest cost possible, make some money, and then reinvest. That's how I would do it. Okay. When it comes to posting, can you do the same 3 or 4 over and over again? I would encourage you not to do that. I would look to create fresh, high impact generating content every week. So 3 to 4 pieces a week is what we would aim for. Are you working with any accountants? I couldn't tell. I imagine there are a few accountants in there. I have worked with lots of accountants in the past that I know of. Financial services providers, accountants, whether it is management accounting services, whether it's tax advisory, whether it is just general bookkeeping. So depending on, I've worked in lots of different services of accounting as well. So there's lots of different areas. So yes, 100%. I don't know if there's anyone in there now, though, just to be really honest. There probably is, but I don't. There's over 300 businesses in there, so I wouldn't know. Will you send the slides over, Claire? So I don't send the slides. I don't know if you decided to join us today, Claire, but I will send the replay either way. I don't send the slides out, but the slide deck template is in the membership and is included because lots of people want it. I hope that's fair, by the way. Need to go. Thank you so much, Chris, and great pay. I enjoyed your delivery. Feeling motor. Good work, Adam. Go and smash it, mate. Look forward to hearing your progress. Awesome stuff. If this relevant, yes, it is. If our business won't benefit, I've answered all the questions there. So I'm going to stop sharing. Anyone have any final questions, by the way? Any final questions at all before I shut up shop? I'll give you another 60 seconds before I finish up. There will be a replay, yes. How many spaces there are left, I don't know. I'm going to be honest, I don't know. I've not checked. I'll check at the end, and you will receive the emails afterwards. Has any personal development fitness coaches work with you? Yes, quite a few. So online fitness trainers is something which I had a bit of a niche for a short period due to I had someone off Love Island come and work with me, and his results went really well. And so everyone started to look and ask and speak with him. And so I had an influx of PTs and fitness coaches come through. Again, Chantel, the webinar work is something which works really well, both short form webinar and long form. So both of it works really, really well. Yeah, so fitness trainers and personal trainers are definitely something which we've got lots of experience with. It's been brilliant. Thank you. I'm a technophobe. So yeah, definitely will. Anyone that's afraid of technology, I'm going to make this as simple as possible. But if you have any questions, just reach out. Thanks, Chris. Great content and advice as all. Would like a copy of the PDF, please, when you get a minute. Perfect, Keith. It's going out on email and also going out via the LinkedIn message. So you'll receive it especially. Just drop me a message on LinkedIn, Keith, and you'll definitely get it. Guys, thank you all so much for your time and attention today. You are absolutely awesome. It's been fantastic seeing how many of you have been on today. Don't worry, Gabby will sort that email out. Have an amazing day, afternoon. If you're watching the replay, have an amazing day, evening, whatever time you're watching this. I'll see you all on the news feed. I'll see those of you that have joined us in the community. Have an amazing time. See you later. Goodbye.